second verse is sponsored by Attitude Creativity. Many indie music artists don't have a website that grows their audience and reflects who they are, so they get lost in the noise of streaming. Marketing and brand messaging with Attitude Creativity helps boost your brand and build a site that hits all the right notes. You want to be an artist who stands out from the crowd, and to do that, you need your music to be heard. If your website doesn't reflect who you are or make an impact, you feel like a singer who's been handed a pair of drumsticks instead of a mic. You deserve a website and brand messaging you can be proud of, and that doesn't take time away from your music. As an artist like you, I understand how overwhelming websites and marketing can be. And that's why, putting on my other creative hat, I put my decades of marketing and development experience to work for you. You'll no longer have to apologize for your website. You'll look and feel like a professional with a custom story branded website you can be proud of. And right now, you can get a head start with my free downloadable EPK blueprint and start building your electronic press kit to promote your music. Head to attitudecreativity.com/blueprint to get your copy. That's Attitude, ATTITUDE, creativity.com/blueprint. Welcome back to Second Verse. I'm your host, Becky Boyland, and this is the podcast celebrating indie artists and musicians taking brave steps to make their music dreams a reality. You know that line, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Well, cranking out music more quickly? That sounds pretty good. But it's not a foregone conclusion that if you are doing it alone, that you actually will do it fast. But it's pretty sure that if you go together and collaborate, that you will go further. I was always a little nervous about getting into my first few co-writes. Everybody finds that kind of scary, I think. But I can't help but remember what an amazing experience I had in this one particular co-write with a very experienced producer and co-writer. Not only did I get to see behind the scenes exactly how he produces, but it was really powerful to me to see how he helped to manage and guide the room because he had so much experience co-writing. And that's something that I've carried with me in other collaborations that I've done. It really is a very, very powerful thing. We do romanticize this image of the lone wolf artist, but collaboration really is how songs and careers actually grow. So in today's episode, I'm breaking down why collaboration is so powerful for indie artists, and not just in co-writing or production, but in community and accountability. So I'll be sharing how to approach collaboration and how to build the kind that lasts. Be sure to stay to the end for my list of top 6 benefits to collaborating. And of course, like, subscribe, review, and share so that this podcast gets out to more artists like you. So we have this myth of the solo genius who's out there producing and cranking out this wonderful, amazing music. But the truth is that a lot of indie artists wear way too many hats, and then they wonder why they feel stuck. They fall into isolation, and there's just no feedback that comes their way, and there aren't ideas that can be bounced off of other people. And eventually, that can lead to burnout. But see, in the pandemic, that was a renaissance for a lot of us. And as we were jumping into music, either for the first time or after many, many decades, it looked different than anything that had come before it. The music industry has changed so dramatically. But that also meant that we were creating in a vacuum and trying to do things all on our own. That's really hard to accomplish great music that way. It's just really hard to even know what is great music if you're just by yourself and don't have anybody else to work with. When I talked to Cindy Slee back in season 1, she shared about this amazing creative partnership that she developed with a friend over many, many decades. And in the past, they were mailing their song ideas back and forth. Now, obviously, that could be done so much faster electronically, but they actually live in the same town and can meet in person. Not everyone necessarily has that scenario, but the value of that is why it's so important to start seeking out collaborators. So if that's that powerful, if collaboration is the antidote to the isolated lone wolf artist, how do we find those people? Well, I'm going to give you 3 steps to finding your collaborative match. The first thing is you kind of have to know yourself pretty well. Know what you bring to the party and know what you don't. Looking for someone who complements you and can help out in areas that you are not as strong is not only a way to have a much better collaboration, but you may find out that you're exactly the person they were looking for too, because you have strengths in areas that they don't. So if you're a really great lyricist, then look for a producer or look for someone who's really great with melody. Start building collaborations around where you can actually assist each other. And that means that you have a lot of clarity around who you are, and that will make it much easier to find those collaborators. Step 2, go where creative energy already lives. Places like co-writing circles, retreats, open mics, online forums. I talked with Rick Malloy back in season 1 also about the retreat that we met at and where so many songs were generated amongst this group. And I'll tell you, those first couple of co-writing sessions were a little scary because you don't know these people and you're trying to find a common ground and find a way to start a song. But I came away not only with incredible songs, but a number of different ways to approach even my solo writes. So retreats and other places where there's already this creative activity happening, those are great places to connect with people and find out who is a great complement to your gifts. Then step 3, lead with curiosity. When you do encounter people, whether it's at one of these different locations like a retreat, ask what they're working on first. Start to build a relationship and a rapport. That builds trust really fast. Even if you're reaching out to someone online, take a listen to what music they might have already put out so that you can send them a DM saying, "Hey, I loved your last song. Would you ever be open to co-writing?" That's a way better line than "Want to collab?" It may feel risky to try to do something like that, but when you've done a little bit of homework and show that you care about someone's art, that just speaks volumes, and it's a great way to get started. All right, so now if you've done that and you've met your creative twin, now what? Well, now it's time to begin building that trust further and fostering creative chemistry. Obviously, chemistry and relationships grow through time and honesty. It's kind of like a first date. Whether you're walking into a physical room or you're on Zoom, you have to get to know each other and learn about others' likes and dislikes and gifts and skills and the sounds that they gravitate to. All of that comes through conversation and truly sharing your heart, being really, really raw and honest. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you're able to do that. And sometimes it means letting people fill in the gaps and do things maybe a little differently than you would. When I talked with Steve McDonald, he shared how he collaborated with a producer on his debut album. And the results were better productions and faster decisions. It forced him to make choices more quickly, which got the music out there faster too. And I loved the illustration that Greg Watts had about if you had a personal trainer living next door to you, you better believe you're going to be at the gym a whole lot more. Because when you schedule time with a co-writer, whether in person or online, that's accountability. And you have to discipline yourself because, they're waiting on you and you're not going to disappoint them. That accountability that comes with collaboration also comes with fresh ideas, things that you might never have been exposed to or would never have thought about on your own. And that's so much greater than the sum of its parts. So collaboration is both creative and professional. It's about learning to communicate freely and openly and being willing to compromise, to let a little bit of your ego go so that you can create something more excellent. You can't protect your ego and grow your art at the same time. So if you come with a teachable spirit and are open to feedback, the results could be amazing. And sometimes, especially for artists and neurodivergent artists in particular, the rejection sensitivity can make this sound like a terrible, torturous ordeal. But you can really count on creating safe spaces as you build relationships with people who get you and who connect with you well. So as long as it's a safe space, then you can be open to that feedback and open to different ideas. You can show up humble, clearly communicate what you need and what you expect and what will make a difference to the music, and just watch the magic happen. But once the song is finished, there is more to collaboration beyond the studio. It doesn't stop when the tune finishes. It's also about building momentum together. It's not just about the writing. It's about community, ongoing community. And then also getting your music out there, marketing it together, getting visibility for your creative projects. There are a lot of things that you can now do with a collaborator that would be completely on your plate, like cross-promoting releases, appearing on each other's podcasts, swapping features on one another's singles, sharing resources and connections, collaborating on playlists, co-hosting lives on Instagram or TikTok or other platforms. Community is what keeps you accountable to your creativity. And I think that's just a beautiful, beautiful statement. In fact, I'm going to say it again. Community is what keeps you accountable to your creativity. Because just like that co-writer waiting on the other end of a Zoom call, you're going to show up. And when you have a community, everything from your audience to these collaborators and the circles that we talked about in the previous podcast episode, those things keep you coming back and delivering what you promised. That's what collaboration really is. It's community in motion. And every interview, every conversation, every episode, every chance I have to share these behind the scenes and encouraging and empowering stories and messages on this podcast, it just reminds me how connected we really all are and what we can contribute to one another so that we do go farther. And sometimes we even go faster. So in a moment, I'll give you my takeaway top 6 benefits of collaborating. But first, I'd love to hear your story, your second verse, and maybe how co-writing and collaboration has helped you in your journey. Drop me a note at secondversepod.com/share your story. Here are my top 6 benefits of collaborating as an indie artist. Number 1, validation. This is overcoming imposter syndrome because a finished co-written song says, yes, you can do this. You don't have to wonder if you're capable because you have the proof from working with somebody else. Number 2, growth. You can learn a lot from your collaborators. And you can also learn together with your collaborators. And that's so powerful. Number 3, getting unstuck. Appointments, deadlines, and someone waiting on you forces you to finish what you start. Number 4, networking. You get to meet people they know and whom those people know, and so on and so forth. You never know where it will lead. Number 5, shared success. When you accomplish something on your own, it's pretty great. But when you accomplish something with a group of people that you've grown to care about and that they care about you, it's amazing. And even if something doesn't quite come out successful, that can be pretty hard on your own. But you know what? With your group, you had a great time. And that's priceless. And number 6, better together. Collaborators get to lean on each other's strengths and fill in the gaps for one another, promote each other together, It's just so much more than the sum of its parts. So here's a quick recap. You don't have to do your music alone. You can and should be collaborating. You can approach it with curiosity and humility, and you'll be amazed what you find. And finally, growth happens together. You're a team. Build a team. So wouldn't it be amazing if your next music breakthrough came from a conversation, not a plug-in? Go ahead and send that message, book that session, and be brave enough to collaborate. If this hit home, share it with another artist you admire, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new episode of Second Verse. Until next time, keep chasing your second verse, because your next verse might just be waiting for that perfect co-write. To wrap up today, stick around to hear my song, Ticket.